Soulmask has an amazing inventory management system that, if you know what you're doing, can make the game 10 times more enjoyable. The first thing you'll see is on your character sheet. So you have top right, that is an auto sort. So auto sort by name, type, easy peasy. Just click it, bam. You can also sort by common materials, weapon or gear, building, other, what have you. The next thing is when you want to dump all your items in a box. So you're like, all right, I got to get everything over here. Instead of clicking them all or dragging them all, I want to just give them all. So G, deposit all, or give all, goes over there. You notice the ones with a star did not. That's because those have a preference set with Z, or a favorite, if you will. If I want these items that are over here to come back, I hit T for take all. They all come back. Now, these are my saved ones. You can hit Z to set a preference. See, it went away, comes back. You notice they don't go over there when I hit give all. If you want them to go over there, you can hit Q, and it will go over there, regardless of preference. If you want to mass transmit like a whole bunch of items at the same time, you hold Q. So simple. This is so good when looting a boss or mobs that have a lot of loot on them and you only want certain things. You'd be like, listen, I want the energy gathering crystal. Definitely don't want that. Definitely don't want that. And you can cherry pick what you want really quickly, which is amazing. Now, for some reason, in the benches, this has weird functionality. It doesn't work as well. So if you give all, and then I want to hold Q, it doesn't work. I have to individually click each item. Now, of course, you can always do the take all and take everything, but a little weird. The other thing is to drop items. Let's say you have a million items on you. Eventually, you're going to get inundated with seeds. You're like, tomatoes, hate tomatoes. You hit X, you drop it. You hold X, doesn't work. You got to click individuals. There's my items on the ground, hit take. If I go into the bench and I give the bench some items, I can hold X and auto drop them. I cannot, however, do that with Q. So why? I don't know. They work the opposites, and that's how it is. So with your new chests, when you start making little boxes and stuff like that, definitely want to start organizing them. Super important to get organized right from the get-go, or you're going to be in a giant mess of items all over the place. So if you open a box, you'll see on the bottom it says set storage items. Here you can come in and say what kind of type you want. So here we'll say, what do we got? We've got plants, right? So do plants. And then you see all the plant type items in the game. They're all highlighted. Or not highlighted, they're all checked. Fantastic. Now if we hit give, only plant items go over. See, only the seeds went over. You can't give the box things that are not that. T for take them back. Now, if you only want to set certain items that are plants, you can hit this, all items, to deselect everything. Let's say we only want seeds in here. We don't want like logs and all other nonsense. We type seed, and now you'll see everything with the word seed in it. And we can say, hey, I want this to be only tomato seeds, no pumpkin seeds, right? So now when you hit give, only tomato seeds go over, pumpkin seeds stay. Even though there's no preference set, this box only accepts tomato seeds. Very easy. Now, if you want to, you want to remember that this box is, tomato seeds. You hit set storage items. Come up here, rename it to I hate, or I hate Tom. I don't know who Tom is, but we hate him. So now this will be your tomato box. This is good so you can reference this later on when you're setting tribesmen to work on this chest. You'll see the plant icons on it. The box name is I hate Tom. You can also hold E here and rename the box here. Just kidding. Everyone named Tom's fine. Okay? That's really important in the basics of just item transfer. When you come home from onto your base and you want to dump items and you put them onto a box, super easy to understand where they are, what they're doing. Now, the next thing is you can set boxes to have tribesmen not to store items, which is important when it's a personal box and you're setting up your own personal gear. Like, oh, I got my frog armor in here. I'm not allowed, obviously. Got my frog armor in here. I don't want anyone else to put stuff in here. And I certainly don't want anyone to take stuff from here. So you would check these to change that. And these both come into play as you set different work for your tribesmen later on in the game as it gets a little bit more complicated. So the next thing is when you are you have, like, say, a ton load of seeds, you have a ton load of plants, and you're just have a crap load of logs, you got a whole bunch of stuff, and you don't want to, you have like 2 seed boxes, you got like 5 log boxes, but you don't want to keep going in here and saying, set storage item, plants, you know, find log, I only want logs in here. You know what I mean? You don't want to keep going through all that. So what you would do is you go to set storage items, you would copy whatever this is. So let's make it specific. Let's go in here and say we only want fiber in here, right? Then we say copy data. We come over to this box. We say, oh, people are putting stuff in here. Take it. Say set storage items, and then we say paste data. Now it copied the same thing. So it's plants and only fiber. So now this box is identical to this box. And that's useful for when you have a ton load of boxes as they get bigger and bigger, and you start having tens of thousands of mats, and it gets a little insane. So you definitely want to start your organization early instead of having to go back through it, you know, later on in the game. You also have a log. You'll have a log in here, come up here, and it'll tell you what's going on. So here you can see it's showing me as I messed with everything and did all sorts of weird things. This is good to see, like, oh my god, where'd this item go? And you can find out that a tribesman took it, or who took it, or, you know, another person playing the game with you, or whatnot. So the next thing is what I always like to do is make a dump box. A dump box is basically you come home from adventuring or whatever, and you don't want to go to every box and just deposit plants over here and a lot, you know, this over there, and semi-finished products over here, and buildings over there, and all that stuff. So you want your tribesmen to do it for you. So the first thing is you don't want your tribesmen to store items in your dump box, because then it's going to get filled up. You definitely want them to take, so that's not checked. You definitely want to understand where your dump box is. So we want to rename it. So we want to get rid of this. We want it to all types. And then up here to rename, call it the dump box. Now we know what it is. Actually, I think I already have a dump box. Let's make this dump box too. And we want to go to one of your tribesmen and set the work for them. So you go to new work, then you want item sorting. You should find your dump box. Dump box 2. It says unsorted, which means no one's doing anything. So you click it, hit save. And this tribesman will now work on here. So let's give all these random items. You can see there's buildings, seeds, plants, semi-finished, various things here. And here she comes. Walks under the elephant. Goes the longest path possible. Goes to the box. Box is already missing items. Now, I don't believe they actually run the box to the other boxes. They kind of just teleport there. You can see she got some of it. It's not on her. And eventually those seeds will disappear as well. Eventually. The other thing that you can do with boxes, you can have... I had a builder building, you know, building pieces, and he was making a chest, and then I added another bonfire, which is over here. Now these bonfires, one here, there's one in the main base over there. These bonfires overlap. You open up your bronze construction hammer, you will see these radiuses. So this is my main bonfire's radius. It's in green. And if you go outside of it, you will now see this bonfire's radius with my main bonfire's radius showing in red. Now these do overlap. So what does that mean? Overlapping means that they can share chests that are in the overlapping section. This is my overlapping section. In here, I had all the building pieces moved to this building piece. Now, there's 2 ways to do that. One is you can go to a work tribesman, and you can say work, and then you can say, I want you to withdraw items, and then move them, you know, go through it and move it to whatever. You could also say, you know, store items where they'll store only certain items in a spot. It's much easier, I think, to just do the item sorting and just have them go into the item, go into it, and then just take everything out of there, the item sorting, and then they put it wherever it belongs, somewhere else in the base. The only time that you would withdraw and store is if you need to move items from one spot to the other like a train line, like a fire brigade. And that's if you have to cross distances. So if we had a base over here, they're not sharing the bonfire, so we would need a tribesman to run it over there and then run it back. I don't recommend doing that. That seems a little crazy. I would almost rather carry it myself, or throw it on an elephant. That being said, there's one more thing, which is the quick character transfer, which I like to go over. So let's get her back, deploy her, and this is useful when you're taking out another person to level, or you want to just quickly be like, all right, I'm gonna get rid of this guy. He sucks. Like, I want to get rid of all his gear. I hate him. So if this person, let's pretend they're here. Let's take all their items with Q. Let's pretend we want this person to have all their items. So we want to have all inventory items. We click inventory items, quick exchange, bam, all inventory goes over there, and vice versa. This is useful again for when you have another character you want to switch to real fast. When you leveled up your guy and you're like, they're fully leveled, now I want to level the next guy. Next guy comes over, he's got nothing here. He's got all this stuff is empty. By the way, if you hit Q down here, Q goes up into the inventory. Then you hold Q. Yeah, so let's say this is the guy you want to play now. This is the guy you were playing. He's all leveled up. You're good. This guy's like level 10. You want to level him up. Just be like, bam. Everything goes over here. Good to go. Run off. Start going nuts. So I hope all those helped. And once these are all set, like, the inventory management is amazing. Keep it going. Thanks, guys.